Recently, according to some tourist companies, Japan has been chosen as the #1 country to visit after this corona pandemic. So today, I'll teach you guys 8 things you should know about the real Japan before you visit. After watching this video, you'll know the real thoughts we have about foreign people that we never talk about. And at the end of this video, I'll give you guys some special advice that is very informative. So please enjoy watching this video. Meshida jokes about Japan. Hey guys, it's Meshida. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a comedian and I introduce funny Japanese culture. If you are interested in that, please subscribe to my channel. Meshida. Japanese cafes and restaurants are ready to welcome foreigners. We prepare English menu and some restaurants train their staff to speak English. Please don't ruin the opportunity for them to show the result of their practice. If you try to speak Japanese, we will be so disappointed. What the fuck? Why do they speak Japanese? So, please don't order food in Japanese in restaurants. Even if the staff don't seem ready for foreigners, please just ignore it and keep elegantly speaking English like Americans always do abroad. Meshida. If you want to find Japanese friends during your travels, you may as well just give up. No one will share their real thoughts or our own culture. Because basically, Japanese people think of foreigners as aliens who have a weird, rude behavior and speak an incomprehensible language. We never open up to them. As much as foreigners think Japanese are weird, we also think foreigners are strange. As for evidence, many foreigners who have been living here for a long time share on YouTube they don't have many Japanese friends. Also, most of them cannot speak Japanese. That's the main reason. Sometimes, if you are lucky, you can make Japanese friends who speak English. Then you talk with them and think that you understand Japanese people and culture. But unfortunately, Japanese people who speak English are not real Japanese. Authentic Japanese never speak English and hate English. If they see foreigners, they are afraid someone will talk to them, so they run away from foreigners as soon as possible, like ninja. It's very difficult for foreigners to find real Japanese friends. It's like finding Uyghurs in China. Although, unlike authentic Japanese, they are forced to hide from foreigners. As you already know, Japanese people who speak English are a minority in Japan. They are not ordinary Japanese. They are not related to Japanese culture. They don't have Japanese friends and are seen as weird in Japanese society. So, they study English and try to communicate with foreigners like me. So, their point of views are liberal and biased, and they don't talk about things inconvenient to them, like America's CNN. If you want to learn about authentic Japanese people, you should speak Japanese fluently and live here more than 20 years. Usually, before they get to know the real Japan, they get jaded and decide they really don't want to know the real Japan. Then, they move home. Meshida. We Japanese hate that many foreigners look down upon our Japanese comedy as just slapstick, physical jokes, or childish behavior. Surprisingly, many Japanese people believe Japanese comedy is the best in the world. Unfortunately, foreigners never agree with this. We are sad, but I think British people can understand our feelings because foreigners never understand their jokes either. There is a stereotypical image that Japanese are always serious. But to be honest, we love comedy very much. There are many comedians and comedy shows in Japan. We really love interactive talk shows and Many comedians have their own radios and podcasts, and we really enjoy watching and listening to their shows. But usually, they do comedy based on life in Japan. And comedians use a lot of slangs, and their choice of words is the most important thing. So, they create and use a lot of unique words. As a result, we cannot translate it to English in a funny way, so no foreigners understand our humor. Only Japanese people understand Japanese humor. If you are British, you will understand. No one understands their English either.
Meshida.
In Japan, we don't have a tipping culture. We Japanese are raised to work like robots and follow the manual at all times. So, even if you try to give us tips as a goodwill gesture, it's not written in our manual. We don't know how to deal with it. It will cause our brains to stall as we refuse to take it. We are not used to getting bribes, unlike politicians. In Japan, we have a famous phrase in the service industry. It's the customer is God. We sacrifice ourselves to make our God feel comfortable. We don't expect anything in return. If you believe in a God, I'm sure you can understand. No matter how hard you work for God, God doesn't give you any tips, just cause a problem.
Meshida.
Japanese people think of foreigners like kindergarten students who don't know etiquette. We have a stereotypical image that foreigners, especially Western people, cannot use chopsticks. So, when we see foreigners using chopsticks perfectly, we cannot help praising them. Wow, you are good at using chopsticks. Where did you learn? It's like praising a child's drawing. It's awful, but pretty good for their age. But to be honest, we don't want foreigners to use chopsticks well. That's because we lose the opportunity to feel superior to Western people. There are 3 big moments for Japanese people to feel superior to foreigners. First, when foreigners use chopsticks like kids. Second, when they bow deeply in a weird way. And when foreigners speak Japanese. Please don't rob us of the opportunity to feel superior for the good of our mental health. Please don't learn Japanese.
Meshida.
As you already know, when we watch foreigners speak Japanese like babies or like weird Japanese anime characters, we feel superior. So, native English speakers who watch my YouTube channel, you might understand the feeling because you guys have to listen to my English. So, the same as with the chopsticks, please don't speak Japanese fluently. When seeing foreigners who speak Japanese fluently, we Japanese lose our confidence. So please keep speaking Japanese like you do now. We love you guys.
Meshida.
And if your Japanese pronunciation is too good, you will have problems because we Japanese might think you can actually speak Japanese fluently. So we will stop praising your Japanese and treat you as an adult and speak fast. If you panic and say in English, "Sorry, I cannot speak Japanese," Japanese people will also say, "Sorry, I cannot speak English." So, your fluent Japanese pronunciation will actually decrease communication.
Meshida.
Some foreigners try to learn some Japanese before coming to Japan, but you don't need to learn a lot. You just need to remember just one kanji. It will save you in an emergency situation in Japan. This is it. It means wash. When I was working at the hostel in Tokyo, our hotel had new toilets, so there were many buttons, like in the cockpit. So many foreign guests, especially Western people, tried to use it after shitting, but couldn't. They made a mess, gave up on cleaning it, and just left. So the toilet became like Afghanistan. Please remember this kanji. Please don't press the bidet button instead of the wash button. Your ass will experience a whole new world.
Meshida.
I think Japan is like Disneyland for tourists. You can experience a lot of unusual things that you can never do in your own country. Our unique culture will entertain you. So, it's best to come to Japan just as a guest. If you become a resident in Dreamland, you have to work for a long time with a very small salary, like Disneyland stuff. And you'll see the hidden side of this wonderful place. You know, dreams always come true at the sacrifice of other people's dreams. So, instead of living here, just enjoy traveling in Japan. Then, you can keep loving Japan. We Japanese don't like foreigners, but we love foreign tourists. If you spend a lot of money.
飯だ
Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And please check out my Patreon page too. I need your help. So, see you soon. Bye bye.